3, hopefully the final part of painting this lovely big dragon. Okay. Great, where to begin? Alright, let's go. Firstly, a little bit of a volume adjustment. I don't know why that seems so loud to me, but it's loud. So, moving some of the tools out of the way for this one. Let's go with this. Okay. So first, I'm going to move down the tail and paint in these spines. So they're a kind of spike spine, and I'm not really sure what you would call it. I think they would count as horns. But either way, paint them in to get a little bit more definition on this back fin. I think I'm going to do the same technique that I did before, just use, one side then the other, rather than trying to flip each time. If you're not painting in front of a camera, you could probably flip each time, but I run the risk of knocking the camera out if I do that. There's not a lot of space in this area. So I'm using Macragga Blue for those who are interested. And because it's on a white background, it comes up quite bright. A little bit brighter than you'd see it on your average ultramarine, which is cool. Just working my way down. Just taking my time. Stuff like this is also quite a nice way to get your eye in if you've taken a little bit of a break of painting like I have. Some nice simple lines to kind of get your eye back in. Hey Andy, welcome in. Good morning, I hope you're well. So just moving this around. Just getting a better angle on the rest of the tail. And I am experimenting with closed captions at the moment, so please let me know if you can see them on screen. I can't see them in my preview, so they might not be working just yet. Yeah, it's an experiment, so I'm trying to work out what is working, what isn't working, and go from there. Excited for April. You have 2/3 of the game you want pre-ordered. That is awesome, Andy. If you don't mind me asking, which games are you excited about? I think captions are off by default. But if you are watching this on Twitch itself, you should be able to enable them in the bottom corner of the screen if it's working properly. Excuse my drinks. Assuming you want captions, of course. If you don't want captions, then ignore everything I just said in the past minute or so. Star Wars remakes and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. You want a giveaway for it as well? Congratulations, Indy. That's cool. I'm excited for you. That's great news. Or on the other side. 28 people in the original. Oh, he's something again. Oh, I'm excited for you, Eddie. That's great news. You deserve it, and I know you'll appreciate it and enjoy it. Are you going to be playing it on stream, or are you just playing it in your own time? Because playing games on stream and playing them in your own time is a very different experience. There are certain games that I actually won't stream because I want to experience them for myself without the worry or the pressure of having to present while I'm doing it, you know? Hadn't occurred to you to stream it, but I might. Well, I'll definitely try and be there if I can for those streams if you decide to stream it. Because I've got a soft spot for the Jedi Knight series. I watched my partner play through. Can't remember which one it was now. The most recent one before this new one, I think. Really good. Really just entertaining to watch. To excuse me a little bit if I sound a little bit sniffly or under the weather, it's because I am. It's just tiredness, basically. I'm a little bit unwell today. So I apologize if my voice sounds a little weird or whatever. Fallen Order? I think it was Fallen Order. And it wasn't the MMO. I did really want to get into the MMO, Knights of the Old Republic, myself. But unfortunately it didn't work with my old machine. I haven't been able to try it with my new machine. But They did mention a while back that they were doing a remake of it. I don't know if that's still happening, but if it is, I will be all over that. Because that would be pretty amazing. Morning, Robert. Welcome in. I hope you're well. Okay. Let's try and spin this around. I apologize. My doorbell is quite loud. Okay. I'm just looking for a couple of paints because I'm going to be working on the underside of the wings, that area. So it's going to be a little bit awkward to show. So please bear with me while I work on this. Excuse me. So it's going to be effectively reflecting what's on the top of the wing. Cog, hello, Motherman. It's good to see you. How are you doing? I hope you're well. We're on the market for materials level Weaver. Whoa, 1.98 million gil? That sounds like a lot of gil. Is it an especially rare material, or is someone just being cheeky and hoping that they don't notice the extra zeros? Checking to see if things are working as they should be. Looks like they might not be working as intended. It's a little bit irritating. Oh no, wait. There we go. Looks like they are. Cool. Cool. Okay. Ignore me. All sorted. So there should be closed captions at the bottom of the screen. If you can't see them, you'll need to enable them. On PC, on Twitch itself, if you click on the bottom corner of the screen where the settings cog is, or if you look down there, you should see a little box with CC in it. That'll be where you enable the captions. Let me know how that goes, please. If they're not particularly great, if they're not particularly accurate, I'll see if I can find another option. Oh boy. I think this brush has reached the end of its life. That brush is getting retired, I think. Okay. Try a new one. Alright, let's see how this one goes. I'm at the stage where I might need to buy some more super fine line brushes again. Good job, Twitch is paying me next week, hopefully. Alright, so hopefully you can kind of see where I'm working on here. Basically painting in the fingers on the dragon's wing. If that makes any sense at all. So I'll paint these in first. Then I'll probably repaint the underside of the wing to make up for where it's overspilled and not quite sat properly. And we'll see where we get to. This is the last day I'm going to be working on this on stream, I think. Already worked on it a lot longer than I intended. I finally kind of got a little bit more creative energy again. I kind of find myself in a bit of a creative slump for the past couple of months, which, you know, considering everything, it's kind of understandable. And a bit of an unfortunate time at the beginning of this year. But I'm finally sort of getting that creative energy back. I got a few ideas for, mainly for YouTube. I talked about a couple of them on Discord. Yeah, I'm just kind of excited again to do content things. I'm hoping I can start rolling some of it out this month. In the next couple of weeks or so. It might take a little bit longer. But the exciting bit is I finally know how I can do speed paint videos. I finally found something that works that will actually allow me to do speed paints, which is something I have wanted to do for absolutely bloody ages. So that's something that I want to do really soon. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to do them for the bigger models, but for the small ones, so for the ones that are kind of like this size, I typically finish in the stream. I'll probably be able to start doing them for those. Which would be really fun. I'm really, really excited about that. Because I love speed paints. I find them utterly fascinating. Anyone who does like speed drawing, speed painting, anything like that, I'm instantly fascinated by it. I love it. Super keen to start doing those soon. Yeah. Generally got some other exciting ideas bubbling away. Some that are going to need a little bit more prep work. But now I finally unlocked that little bit of editing knowledge that I've been working towards for probably about 6 months. An embarrassingly long time, because it took me forever to find the software that I liked and that I understood, but also had the the tools that I needed. I don't need many. I'm not planning to do some super like heavily edited stuff because I just simply don't have time. But there are a couple of tools that I really needed that just aren't in a lot of the free or, you know, free access open source type software that you can get online. So finding one that had everything I needed, that worked, that I could understand, and that would actually let me do all the things that I wanted to do was a little bit of a challenge. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at the moment, just kind of finally feeling a little bit more inspired, a little bit more optimistic, a little bit more like myself. So I just need to get a couple of bits of equipment, basically. Nothing too fancy, but I need some basic equipment for a couple of the videos. Those should start rolling out in the next few weeks. I'm excited because I've got another Lego video coming out soon, or another Lego stream that I'm going to be doing next week or the week after, depending on schedule timings. I'll probably make the Lego stream a charity stream as well. Yeah, just a lot of good stuff happening soon. Soon TM, as always. Yeah, feels good to kind of get that spark back. Because I know I've kind of been lacking it. Probably since the beginning of this year because of events. Real life being what it is sometimes. And we're back. Good. And I promise I didn't intend to align this with a unusually inspiring sounding part of this this compilation, but I'm kind of glad that it's there. We got this, guys. I hope there's actually something interesting visible on screen rather than just the base of the model. I apologize if not. There we go. That might be a bit of a better angle. Because we're going in here. Picking up these scales. The underarm scales. This is exactly what subassembly painting is all about. This is why if I get a model commission, I typically won't build it fully. I'll typically do it in bits. Because with details like this, you just need the space. With commissions, I always make sure they are the best possible work I can put out. Okay. So we got these in. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna switch brushes again. Because we got a little bit on the side here, right up close to the wing, that's kind of not really done. So I'm gonna fill in this bit. Here it's all. There we go. Flip, we check the other side. Same deal, basically. I hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. I hope it's nice and chill. I'm hoping that my rather cold and frosty week warms up a little bit and I can hopefully rescue some of my plants that got caught by the snow. do a little bit of maintenance out there so that it actually looks good as well. Next up, I think it is getting these wings tidied up. Let's get the right paint first. All I'm doing with this is giving the underside of the wings a nice even coat. To cover anything that's kind of splashed over from doing the other stuff, but also any gaps that have been left from the spray, all that sort of stuff. To give the contrast paint that's going over the top a nice even base to work from. So it picks up all the lovely leather textures from the wing, all that good stuff. Unfortunately, my white paint is not being very cooperative. Shake. Wings. Like I said, this is just tidying up and giving a really nice base coat for that contrast paint to cling to. It's hopefully going to show up all those really nice leathery textures that these wings have got. Because that's the kind of texture that contrast paint does really nicely on. You know, this kind of ridged, I don't know what else to call it except leather. It's like leather or crepe paper or something like that, but having a really nice texture under contrast paint makes it look really good. Plus it makes it look like you've spent hours painting in detail when really you didn't do anything. So I'm not worrying too much if I accidentally blob over onto the blue bits, because they are going to have a number of other layers added to them before the final piece. About getting this white on nice and even. Also making sure you can actually see what's going on, because where I'm working is kind of awkward to show to the camera a lot of the time. So I know this wing's already had one coat of white paint, and it took the primer really well, so I'm not gonna worry as much about this one. This is more about tidying up the edges. This looks messy. I'm gonna have to go over the blue again. That's fine. It happens. Okay. So yeah, this is not going to be my best model ever. I'll be honest. But that's fine, you know? It happens. It's a big, challenging piece, and I've not been at the top of my painting game. So maybe I'll end up revisiting it. Do like a model rescue on it at some point in the future. But I want to get to a point where it's good enough. Which, if you've painted a significant amount of models in the past, you'll probably understand that feeling. Or even if you've done any sort of artistic endeavour, you probably know that done is better than perfect. That's kind of what I'm aiming for here. I know it's not perfect, but I would like to see it done. Yeah, but I'm gonna do something this as well, I think. I'm just going to tidy off the base a bit as well, since that's seeing a lot of air. Just because painting it up like this, even just a simple monocolor coat of paint, it just kind of makes it look a little bit more finished overall, which is nice. It's a nice feeling. It's weirdly satisfying to do this. Hey Sinker, it is a giant base. It's a giant base for a big model. I'm just making sure I get all the corners and whatnot. The usual. And then, because it's a little bit streaky and I'm not going to worry too much about whether it's streaky or not, I'm just going to make sure all the streaks are in the same direction. You don't have to do that. I just like to do it if I know it's going to be left streaky. I just like the directionality to all kind of be the same. Yeah. Quick and easy. And it will just kind of make it feel a little bit more finished at the end. I'm not going to worry about getting paint on my painting mat because that's kind of what it's there for. So, you know. Now that's done, we return back to the big beastie at hand. One of the things I wanted to do was add a little bit more face detail to him. So I'm just kind of using this brighter blue that I've been using, kind of highlighting, using it to highlight scales and details on the actual face. And the idea behind that is to kind of make it match the rest of the model a bit more, but also to draw more attention to the face overall. Since when you look at the model, when it's sat like this, the face is the first thing you look at. Because it's right there. So I kind of want it to, you know, be worth looking at. I know I talked a little bit about that last time. So we've got a little bit of detail on the face now. Kind of draw your eye in a little bit and just kind of make it look a bit more like part of the model as well. We're gonna have to sort of go through some other sections of the model and do similar stuff. I'm not sure how much it's showing up on the screen. It's effectively highlighting. Just on an individual scale level, which, as you can probably see, there's a lot of individual scales on this model. That's a process that takes a little while. Especially since I'm not actually doing each individual scale. I'm picking certain lines and certain regions to do this with. The idea being that that's kind of where the light's hitting. Or if it's an area that would see a particularly high amount of wear and tear or something like that. This is also giving those white base coats on the wings a chance to settle and dry. Which means that once that's done, we can then go back over those, make sure there's nothing to change or add or whatever. And then in a couple of spaces, I'm just going to have to add a little bit of touch up to the darker colour. Usually where the colours on the base have overspilled onto the model. No big deal. just making sure I get all the areas that are reasonably going to be seen. I'm not under any illusions that, you know, the bottom of the foot is going to be completely unpainted, because it's already glued to the base before I started painting this. There is not a lot I can do about that. But just all the bits that you're likely to see, even by accident. Trying to fill those in now. Yeah, all the really awkward bits that I kind of tend to not show on stream. Yeah, we're doing those today. Okay, there we go. That's the angle. And the reason I don't tend to show these on stream is because it's really hard to get a good angle on them to both fit a paintbrush and a camera shot in. But we're doing our best. Get to that little patch just above this knee here. Okay, we're getting it. It's the weirdest yoga I've ever seen. Trying to get all the pieces in and also kind of try and show what I'm doing is always going to be the biggest challenge of these streams, I think. At some stage, I would really love to upgrade the camera so that I can at least have multiple angles for you guys to see. But I don't think that's going to help us today. Steadily looking better. Better and better with each pass. I think this is just one of those models that a lot of the sections take multiple passes on. It happens sometimes. Much like with anything in life, you don't always get it right first try. The beauty with painting is you can try as many times as you like. You can paint over, you can strip layers and start again. As long as you keep hold of the model, you can keep trying. As long as you have paints, brushes, and the model, you can keep painting. So it's quite a nice, forgiving art form, I would say. There are certain other art forms that are quite definite, and that you get one shot and that's it. Which are fine. This is not a criticism of them, but I like the fact that if I decide all of a sudden that this model actually would look better as a bright yellow and orange dragon with fire and brimstone, I can absolutely turn this into that. And realistically, It's not going to be a problem. Yeah, might add a couple of extra steps in before I start. But that's it. And it's nice to have that wagon. Welcome in, Mango. Blue Dragon. Yes. This is hopefully the final installment in painting this big old beastie. Kind of inspired by my recent adventures in World of Warcraft, but also just because I really like painting dragons. I wanted to give this guy a go. And I've had this guy on my shelf for probably about a year. And him a long time. And he's just sat there judging me in his unpainted form. But now, he gets to judge me while being painted. If he doesn't like being blue, then he can wait until I decide to paint him a different color. I hope you're doing well, Mango. I hope you're having a good weekend. And I hope the captions are working out. If you don't know where to enable the captions, it should be available on desktop and Android, I believe. I don't know if they're on iOS or Mac. But you look at the bottom right corner of the player, there should be a little box with CC in it. Click on that, that should enable the captions for you. Unfortunately, they are only available in English, not translated languages yet. But let me know how they work out. Let me know if they're working. If they're not working or if they're completely goofy, I'll see if I can find a different version. Yeah, adding captions to streams is something that I have been trying to do for a long time. But a lot of them require extra software or things that were just difficult to get right. Some of them are like, you need to click the button on the website every time you go live, which... okay, but it's tedious to keep having to remember to do that. And I wanted something that could work directly off of OBS. And I finally found a couple to try out. So if this one doesn't work, I've got a backup one or two to try. This is the easiest one to enable. So I started with the easiest. And I'm going to work backwards from there, basically. Because I don't know about you lot, I'm not hard of hearing, but I like subtitles. I like having closed captions on things. Because sometimes you just miss it. Sometimes you're looking at something else, or you're working at the same time as watching, or, you know, whatever. And having subtitles there just helps you not miss bits. So I want my streams to be the kind of thing that I would watch in my own free time. Because if I wouldn't watch my streams, how can I expect anyone else to? One of the things that's kind of important to that is subtitles. So any feedback is hugely, hugely appreciated. For now, we're shaking paints again. Yeah, I was gonna paint this back fin a colour. I was sort of debating purple or blue or green or something like that. I might actually leave it white. It kind of fits. Does mean that I need to paint over all of the little flecks that I did earlier, because those flecks would have blended in really nicely with the colours that I was going to paint over it, but with white it looks a little weird. It's fine. That's not the end of the world. Get these little accidents painted over on the tail. See what I'm looking at here? Yeah, it's looking better and tidier already. So a lot of these excess flecks have come from where I've been using a frayed brush. So it's a little PSA for taking care of your brushes. Having a brush that's not frayed really does make your life easier. Moving up to the top of the spine. Sort of neck area. Again, trying to keep it tidy. Just correcting any overpaint areas. Flipping over just to check this side. So there's a little bit just here. There's a nice awkward place for a brush to fit. A little bit here. Everything else. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. A bit of the tail here. I'm glad you're enjoying the music, Indy. It's definitely a very relaxed vibe, which is what I was after. once we clean the brush, of course. Again. Again, we're just detailing the scales. So I'm actually quite happy to take as much time as needed to tidy up these bits. Well, they're not necessarily the first thing you see. They are a big part of the first impression you get of the model. And I try and keep that front and center in my head when I'm painting. What's the first impression of this model? Let's face it, sometimes it's all you really get. And I want that first impression to be something other than, wow, those wings are messy. Which is what I'm currently seeing. I'm going for at least a, hey, that looks cool. could have been bad. Moments before disaster. Getting there. Spin this around all. I can never do that. There we go. That's the angle. You can get onto the contrast. Sort of. Awesome. Again, flipping this over. I'm sorry if it's not particularly getting the best shots for you all. I'm doing the best I can. So now we're getting into the tricky contrast paint bit. I'm having to use two different contrasts. One is very starkly different from the other. So this is the stronger of the two. You have to be really careful with this one. It stains everything. Like, it'll stain my skin for probably about a week. It's also super good at making a really nice, vibrant blue. It's wonderfully intense, heavily pigmented blue. It's just really nice to look at. I have to be careful not to let it overspill, because that would be strip the paint from the area and start from nothing kind of a repair job. Which I don't really want to do when I'm so close to finishing. And I spoke a little bit about this before, but contrast paints are great for textured areas. So they fill in all those little gaps that you can never quite perfectly get with your paintbrush, no matter how good you are. And it gives the best finishes to textured areas. Bar none. But just be really careful with them because they stain, and they are mostly very strongly pigmented, which means it will be a very noticeable, very difficult to remove stain. There we go. One side done. On to the other. Contrast paints are great for all the reasons I mentioned, but they're also a double-sided sword. Double-edged sword. Because they will show up any mistake. They will highlight it in neon and sparkling lights. So be confident when you go to apply your contrast paints that you don't want to add anything else underneath. You can layer on top, but those foundations are not going to be moved once you put the contrast paint on. Like I said, not without difficulty. Which is why I'm worrying a little bit less about what direction I'm pointing this in at the moment. Because these are the bits I need to get absolutely right. So I apologize if it's a little less interesting to look at for a little while. I promise I'll make the next stream a lot more visually interesting for an audience. Side's done. Again, apologies for it not being particularly clear on stream. I need to rapidly clear my brush before it all sets on the brush. Contrast paints stain and damage your brushes as well, as much as anything else. And I have another one to put on. So, if you're interested, that's the inside. I'm going to be working on this one first. So, yep, that way is going to be the best way for you. same brush. Hopefully clean enough. Maybe not as clean. Okay. So this is for the inner wing. I'm going to aim for the same effect as we've got on the outside of the wing. That really pale turquoise. Trying to keep it as even as possible. Trying to sort of mimic blue ice kind of colours all throughout. Hopefully you can kind of see what's going on here. I'm trying my best. Yeah. Shite. Some chest pain. Spillage. Yay. While I fix this.
Discovery Houston, press to ATO. Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight in the orbit of Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Bear with me 2 minutes.
3, 2, 1, 0, 0. Discovery, go and throttle up. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle function.
This is why you keep tissues on hand when you're painting. Boy, that was probably most of that. Luckily, we managed to get it all up in time, I think. Good job I don't use that colour much anyway. No harm, no foul. Well, the only harm done is to the level of turquoise paint I have. No harm considering. New pack of Arctic tissues. And we're all good. Crisis averted. Now, where were we? I have to be extra careful with my hands because they are currently covered in contrast paint. But you can probably maybe tell if I move that in the level of the contrast paint's dropped rather alarmingly. It's alright. No models were damaged. No other paints were contaminated. And I even avoided staining my desk. So I shaded that section a little bit darker because it will be in the shadow. And I'm going to do the same again here. Shade them a little bit darker. Then again, just a little bit darker towards the body where the shadows will sort of hit. And then blending out so it doesn't get too dark in there. Making sure to not forget the little elbow flap. One wing done. And the second wing, hopefully without any more spillages. So the idea is that these are still pale, still that sort of echoing that icy blue that we've got on top, but they're slightly darker. Purely because shadows make colours look darker. And these, obviously being the underside of the wings, they're not going to get as much light. are going to be in the shade. Almost there. Trying to reduce the streakiness. And then saving my hands from getting punctured. Okay, so this will be the darkest section on this wing. It's in the deepest shadows. It sounds a very dramatic way of putting it, but I don't know how else to put it. Oh my goodness. This contrast paint is getting everywhere. Okay, and I'm moving this across. Oh my goodness. It's such an awkward model. Definitely feel like I'm going to have to do a less awkward model next time. However, I think I can actually start looking at this as basically being done. There's a lot of tidy up work to do. But due to the nature of how difficult it's been to get decent shots on this guy, I might actually do those offline instead. One very small minor thing to fix, and I might actually call stream there today. Because I'm extremely tired. And I apparently now need to go shower off a bunch of contrast paint. So let's fix this first. If this paint will cooperate with me. Pretty please, paint. There we go. Alrighty. Is he done? I would say about 90% done. I need to do a lot of fixing and tidying up on this guy. But that's going to have to happen off stream, I think, because he's very, very awkward to work with on stream. But I am leaving that there. All the fixing will be done offline. I'll also do some photos so you all can get a proper look at him, because he's extremely awkward to get photographs and good angles and stuff on. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. I'll be back next week. Keep an eye out for the schedule. But for now, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world.